The amplifier rack is wired up and in place. Let's kind of break it down now that everything is in the vehicle. Ground point is located right here, factory ground. The two screws that we put in earlier to hold it is holding it in place. Our outputs are run here along the top. The input from the front is along the bottom here. This cubby hole right here will be for the USB. This along here is our bass knob that runs up to the front. The power also runs along the same side as the bass knob, so they cross the back of the car right here along where the factory harness is and go up that side of the car, which is the driver's side. Let's go up to underneath the hood and we'll see what the battery looks like. So there's a factory bolt located right here, and Fernando made an overly complicated S-bend style mount that allowed us to put the fuse right here. There is an open input on the battery bus bar here, so we're going to be utilizing that. We have a charger hooked up to it right now to maintain the battery while it's sitting here. The 3 runs of speed wire come down along this side. Believe it or not, managed to lay flat. Use some zip ties to hold it into place and move it along into the front. He's got the glove box back together. What you want to do is come up or along here, similar to what he did when he showed you how he ran the speaker wires, and then we can plug in and put this all back together. The 3rd speed wire that was for the dash speakers, we made connections here. Use bullet connectors to put them together, so if we need to service it, they can unplug and plug back in down behind this panel. And other than those grills and this side panel not being back in place, everything is pretty much done. We haven't turned it on yet. That's the next step. I'm gonna grab the laptop, fire up the software, we'll plug her in and start setting up our channels and crossovers to route everything where it needs to go. So the first step when setting up the DSP and the Helix is setting up your input and output. This always confuses me. I'm working through it. The next step is to come over to your outputs. Here I need to set up my 2 tweeter crossovers. Now it'll have some default stuff in there. When you click on it first, you'll see a red box appear, and then this says front right high. If you click this red box so that both red boxes are highlighted, you can enter the information just once and it'll give it to both. And when you're done, turn it off, go to the next 2, click on the red box, type in your mid-range, click on your red box. Now it'll do both of those. Click those off, go to your mid-bass, do the same thing. Rear, same thing. Subwoofer, same thing. This is going to be used throughout setting it up. If you want to do group adjust, these red boxes are what allow you to do group adjust. So anytime, let's say you get into the EQ portion of it, you want to do the front tweeters and the mids in the equalization, you just make sure all 4 of those boxes are highlighted, and that'll allow you to do that. The next step is time. Go through and type in all the timing that you have set up. This is for output, and that'll be done. Those are the steps I like to take when setting up my DSP. So those are the known. The next step we're gonna do is polarity testing to make sure we got it all right. The likelihood of getting them all right is very thin. It's more than likely not gonna happen. Go back to the output page. And on the output page, way over here in the corner, there's all these little speakers. And what happens is you can turn on and off the speakers. In this case, because we're doing a coaxial, you got a 4-inch, you got a tweeter. We can't have them both popping at the same time. It's nearly impossible to check which one is in polarity. So this allows us to just turn on the 2 tweeters that are in those 4-inch. Then we can come over here. Fernando has our PT9A Plus. We still have the grills off because we knew this might be a thing. Tweeter is popping green on this side. Green, green, red. We'll go through and we'll do that through all the speakers and make any adjustments necessary. The nice thing is on this amplifier, it is a screw down style terminal, so we can just unscrew and flip wires as needed. If you don't want to do that, you can go into the software. If you go back into the time correction page right here where it says polarity normal and polarity not, if you click it so that little red light is on, it'll automatically flip it for you. That's a good way to test also if you're having a problem like it's not doing what you think it should do. Click it, turn it out of polarity, and then test again. And if it changed, then you know everything is working the way it's supposed to. Then you can go in and fix it through wiring. Once you're at this point, you can start doing the equalization, your de-equalization, if you need to do any of that, or if you're going to do any of that. We are going to start putting this car back together, because we want to do the final equalization with all the interior in the car, because I don't want all this metal and the speakers and the sound radiating off of it. So it's bad enough it has a soft top, which is going to create enough of a headache for us. The other thing too is, before I leave you, make sure to hit save and store. Whatever DSP you're using, always save and store. My way of saving is the date, the type of car, the type of equipment. That's what I type in. That way I know I can go back and I can find a Bronco that was blue that we put a Helix amplifier in with audio control speakers. We have the table set up. RTA is going on the MacBook. Windows, of course, on Helix. Yay. I hate Windows. I will always hate Windows. Anyways, Fernando's in the car doing the final listen. Let's kind of walk through some of the process here that we do when setting up the DSP. Let's try to get some of those lights. All right, over here is the mute channels, as we talked about. What I do is I mute all the channels except for the front right high. I start with the front right high. I come over to the DSP and I tune it the way I like. And then the cool thing about this is you can store a memory and then you can recall a memory, which there are no on here because I've already shut it off. I will mute that channel and I will unmute the driver's side and I will EQ that. So let's take a look at, this is the passenger side here, and then this is the driver's side here. And I will unmute them both at the same time and make any final adjustments, because when you sum them together, things will couple and get louder. So I look back at the RTA and make sure it's doing what I want. And then that process goes through the whole setup. Passenger mid-range, the driver's mid-range, and then I'll come and click all these boxes and play all 4 of those speakers at the same time. And then I will move on to the passenger mid-bass, and then the driver's mid-bass, and then sum those 2 together, and then play all 6 of my speakers, muting them as need be. And then once I get all of those done, I'll go to my rear. I will click both red boxes and I'll do both of those at the same time. I don't have to get real crazy on it. Fix all of the nonsense that's happening back there on both. And then it's off to the subwoofer. In this case, we did a little bit of work here. Not much, typically on a sub. And that's really about it as far as that goes. Hopping into the car, the first track I play is I'm left, I'm center, I'm right. Make sure all those things are doing. They usually aren't. So we'll adjust that. First thing is I'll tweak the distance just a little bit. Maybe 2 inches tops either way. If that doesn't fix it, then it's off the level. Because more than likely it's a level problem, not a distance problem. Anything more than 2 or 3 inches, you probably got something wrong. Maybe remeasure, but after that it's gonna be level. It's 100% just gonna be the level that's off. He's doing the final listen. After I listen, I do all my stuff, get it going. One of the biggest problems with these Broncos, hands down the biggest problem, is this kick panel just sucks. It's made out of really cheap plastic and it vibrates and buzzes, and so you spend a lot of the time trying to get it to not do that because it becomes louder than the music you're listening to, and it sucks. Somebody needs to come out with a better grill to snap on there, maybe a metal one or something that just, I don't know, something that's really super rigid, because that one sucks. At some point we'll come out with that. He's listening to some bass stuff right now. I believe it's Jurassic. Ooh, it's Jurassic. Hold on, I'll find out what it is. What's that called?
This one?
Yeah.
Jurassic Lunch.
Jurassic Lunch. All right, let's hop in and we'll take a listen to some DRM stuff so that you can kind of get an idea of...
Right there.
Yeah, here it is. Jurassic Lunch. We'll take a little listen to it. So we did a little bit unconventional because we ran those tweeters active. Was real worried about whether the little tweeters in there were going to be loud enough. They are. They did enough for us. I think the teenager that's getting their hands on this is gonna love it. The dad just asked us, could you make it so he can't break it? I'm like, he's a teenager, he can break anything. The rears are a lot louder than we'd normally do it because it's a teenager. Fernando got in immediately, he was like, what the hell, dude? And I was like, bro, it's a teenager. It doesn't have to be. We're not pinkies out shipping champagne. We're not pinkies out shipping champagne. I can't. Yeah? We're not pinkies out sipping champagne.
There you go.
Either way, this guy is done. Let's take a look at the back before we wrap it up, just so that you can see what's going on back there. So this is with the side panel back in, so we can unplug. We have an extension, amplified section. Don't just use a regular extension, get an amplified extension. Anyways, this guy will coil up and tuck over here to where we can get to it if we need it. And then we make this cool little panel right here that is gonna go over this. And I know we didn't talk about making this panel, I'm sorry. This you definitely need to have a laser to make. And no, I don't sell them. I know, I should. It is a real pain in the butt to put this thing in. You gotta be, really the hardest part about putting this in is getting the pocket off. There it is there. Okay guys, that is it. It's all put back together. All the sides are in. It's done, it's tuned. I'm just talking because, well, we've spent so much time on this. You guys have been watching this probably for months, and we've been working on it for 2.5 days. I'm just happy that it's out of here. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. Make sure to comment, question, do whatever you want to do in the bottom there. You guys have a great night. We'll see you later next time. Say bye.
Say bye.
Bye.